So I thought I'd make some cookies. They sounded good. I think if I have a cookie, I think that'll help me get some sleep. So let me log into the chat as I normally do. Don't expect a lot of the normal, regular folks to be here, but we'll see if anybody is having the same problem sleeping tonight that I am. There we go. See what happens. See if we're logged into the chat. There we go. If anybody can hear and see me okay, I'd really appreciate it. There we go. All right. I think we're in. So yeah, like I said, I'm just going to make some small batch of chocolate chip cookies. Could not sleep at all. Hey Graham, what's going on? Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Joyce, what's going on? Good to see you as well. So yeah, just like I said, I don't know who's showing up, who else couldn't sleep besides me, but I could not sleep, and they sounded really, really good. But anyway, there's my small batch of chocolate chip cookie recipe. Very uneventful. How was your Thanksgiving? This is not. I didn't do a family thing this year, but I did make a turkey. My daughters are coming over this weekend. I just made a turkey to make a turkey, and there'll be a lot of hanging out this weekend. It was just me and the Beegs this weekend, so that's what I did. Stayed off the road, stayed out of trouble. More importantly, I'm gonna turn on the tea kettle. I'm gonna have some tea while I do this. Sounded good. I'm always just here, usually not chatting, watching on TV mainly. Yeah, well, a lot of folks do that too. A lot of folks do that. But anyway, so I'm going to make a small batch. You know, this is just a small batch of cookies. Makes about eight cookies, maybe 9. Mostly it depends on your scooper. I think more than anything. I'm going to turn that off because I don't have the. I took my. After all the cooking I did yesterday and the day before, I took the, what do you call it? The drip pans out off the stove and then cleaning them, so there's not one in there. As you can see over there, I don't know if you can see that or not, where my tea kettle is at, but there's no drip pans, and they're all up over there. They're sitting out in my lye tank. So I'll just heat up some water in the coffee pot. That'll do it. But yeah, we're gonna make a little bit of, make some cookies and kind of hang out. I promised everybody a pop-up video while for the holidays, because I didn't do one yesterday, which was technically Thanksgiving, because most people were out doing their thing. But I'm going to first start off by letting you know let me see here. Let's move this stuff out of the way just a little bit. I'm going to use a half a stick of butter. And I doubt that this is soft enough to actually use. I've got a Lodge square griddle in the oven. This is so sweet and wholesome. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you do too, Iradius. Well, since my name isn't showing, right? It is Granny. Yeah, Granny Graham. I did say Granny Graham. I recognized your avatar. They've changed that. I don't know why they've changed it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I think if you're subscribed to the channel, a lot of times it won't show your regular, like the names that it used to. But I'm going to use a half a stick of salted butter. That doesn't look quite half. There we go. Of salted butter. Now, the recipe calls for, I will preface this by saying, the recipe calls for 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Now, if all you have, like I have, because I used all my unsalted butter yesterday and the day before to make all the stuff that I made. Because I made a turkey, even though I didn't have guests yesterday, I still made a turkey just to make a turkey. But, Anyway, so all I had left was salted butter. So what I'm doing is, I'm not going to add the salt because in every stick of salted butter, there is a half a teaspoon of salt in each one of the sticks. So if I cut that in half, my Ohio math says that that's one fourth of a teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to throw that. It's not quite melted down yet, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the microwave and soften that up for about 20 seconds, and then go from there. And hopefully that should melt it down. I hope it does. It should. And then after that, it calls for 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I'm making pineapple upside down cake tomorrow, so I'm going to save my brown sugar, and I'm going to do a molasses and regular sugar swap. See how this does. Yeah, that's good enough. So I'm going to use my molasses. You can use, if you're out of brown sugar, it doesn't matter. I don't really get into light or dark sugar. I'm not a Scientologist, so I don't understand how all that stuff works. But Jason Games, what's up, buddy? Acosto, what's going on, buddy? And anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we're going to use, you can use molasses. If you cut your molasses in half and you do it with sugar, then and you do equal parts molasses and sugar, you can replace your brown sugar, which is what I'm going to do today. So let me make sure that I do this correctly. Let's see. So we're going to do our butter and sugar together first, which would be 2 teaspoons of regular sugar, 2 teaspoons of sugar. Get my teaspoons out here. Teaspoon out. So we'll start with 2 teaspoons of regular sugar. 1 and 2. And then we're going to need 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Now, like I said, I don't have 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar that I'm willing to come off of today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this halfway up with sugar and the other half with molasses. Roughly. There we go. Do something real quick. Take this thing apart. Because I want my teaspoon off of this thing. I'll set those to the back till I need them. Just gotta eyeball it. It's about half. And then we'll get our molasses out. If I can get the top off. There we go. Set that down there and fill the rest of it up with sugar. There we go. And then we'll cream all that together. Now, normally, if you were going to do that, you can put it all together first and then throw it in there, or you can just do it like that way. That's fine too. This isn't going to make any difference much. And we'll just mix this all together for a couple minutes. Check out the comments if there are any, because nobody's up at 4 o'clock in the morning making cookies. I'm sure of that. We'll just cream all that together. I thought about adding a little bit of coconut to this. We'll cream that up for about a minute. There we go. So where's everybody watching from tonight? For a lot of people, it's either tonight, well, what time is it? It's almost 4, a couple minutes to 4 here where I am. There we go. We'll just give that a solid minute or two, just to make sure that it's all creamed together. That smells awesome. I love using molasses instead of brown sugar. It just has that like old-timey smell to it that you just don't get from brown sugar. It makes everything so much darker and richer. There we go. You can see that okay? 2 a.m. in Arizona, Connecticut, Elyria, Ohio. Granny Graham, Arizona. Good to see you there. Oh, I got a few. Oh, same person. Bonnie Young. 2 a.m. in Arizona. What's the weather like in Arizona? It's probably a hell of a lot nicer than it is here. It has been nothing but spitting snow and cold with 25-mile-an-hour wind, like constant. Let's see. How long have I been doing that? 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes. That's good right there. And then we're going to take the yolk of 1 egg. And I want that because I'm saving the white for the dog. The dog gets that for breakfast. Almost 3 a.m. in Texas. Cold finally, 44. There you go. Oh, Elyria, Ohio. That's not very... That's, trying to think what... That's northeast Ohio. Let's see. Almost 3 a.m. in Texas. Finally cold, 44. Yeah, you guys have had a heat wave down in Texas. Essentially. Let's see if I can get that yolk out of there. I know I've been to Elyria, but I don't know why I've been to Elyria. And we'll take the rest of that, throw that over there. And then drop that yolk in there. There we go. And like I said, I'm going to save the white for the dog. For the dog's breakfast. Yes, it's been insane. Yeah, I've been in Texas. It's been a few years ago, but I spent a couple Thanksgivings in League City, Texas, south of Houston. Best weather is in California. Depends on what part of California. San Diego, I bet's nice right now. I bet San Diego is awesome right about now. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. Because if you hear any wolfing and growling, it's my dog. She's out there on the couch. And I went out there to see what she was barking at right before I went to the live stream. Mercy B, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. Good morning. And the dog, I was wondering what she was barking at and growling at. And she wasn't barking and growling at anything. She was sleeping. She does that all the time. She runs in her sleep. I don't know if your guys' dogs do that. Mine runs in her sleep all the time. Best weather is California. You're alive really late. Or super early. I just couldn't sleep. I have not slept. I was up the other night. If you guys see the turkey that I made that's in my post, I made that turkey and I got up at like 11 o'clock. I couldn't sleep. And I was like, I'm making it my turkey. And then I sat around all night and I ate turkey and just sort of hung out. I've been watching that. I never watched it when it was on regular TV, but I've been watching it. I started streaming Heroes. So I went and did like a, yeah, I like when the dog, I think it's funny when the dogs do that too, when they run in their sleep. It's funny. My dog's a little character anyway. Let's see. So I need a half a teaspoon of, I'm just going to take them off this thing. I've got this ring because I got tired of looking for them during the live streams. So something's back there in the dish. And which one? That's probably my fourth. Yeah, that's my fourth a teaspoon. And set this over here off to the side. But I've been excuse me, I've been live streaming Heroes. So I sat here on yesterday morning, Wednesday morning, and I was up like 7 o'clock in the morning watching Heroes eating a turkey sandwich. And I made a loaf of sourdough bread too. So a half teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. And let me see. And like I said, we're not going to put the salt in there because we don't need the salt because we have salted butter. And we have a half a stick of butter in there, which would be the quarter teaspoon of salt. So we don't need that. So then here I've got a half cup of all-purpose flour and a quarter teaspoon, if you probably can't see that, but the Lavelle's grater said, hello, how are you? And throw that in there. So we've got a half cup of all-purpose flour, and we've got a quarter teaspoon of baking soda in there. Like I said, we're just going to make a small batch. The one thing is, I got a square Lodge cast iron griddle in the oven warming up, but when I got it off the shelf, I noticed that it had a little spot of rust on it. So I scraped that off. I took a brush to it. Well, actually, not the brush. I took one of the Lodge rust erasers, which I really like. These little rust erasers. These little deals, and I hit it with little Lodge rust eraser. Say that one 5 times fast. But I hit that rust spot with it, and then I've had it in there heating up. And I really do like these rust erasers that Lodge has, because they do work if you have little spots. I don't think I used, it's probably been a year since I used that last, the long griddle that I've got. But I've got so many griddles I couldn't tell you. Let's get this all down in there. We'll go to this spatula here. Little silicone spatula and knock all this stuff out of there. I think we're about done with the whisk. And I don't feel like breaking out the KitchenAid or the hand mixer for this little bit of nothing. But what we'll do is, I'll show you how I fix the little rust spots on my cast iron with just a little bit of cast iron cure right here. A little bit of cast iron cure. We'll use that on there and we'll let that sit on the bottom. It's on the bottom, so it's not going to make much difference. There's my cast iron seasoning that I sell on eBay. I make that myself, and that's available there on eBay. Made out of pure Amish beeswax, grapeseed oil, and avocado oil, and that's all that's in it. And it works great, either to maintain your cast iron or to fix your cast iron, or just use it every day as a conditioner. There we go. Feeling that I'm missing something, but I don't think that I am. except for the chocolate chips. Let's see. There we go. But anyway, so then you can see how that looks for the most part in there. And then we're just going to take a half a cup of chocolate chips. I think that's what it says. Yep, half cup of chips. And throw that in there. I got some butterscotch chips. I was gonna do that. And I had a little bit of coconut laying around. I thought about doing the coconut, but I don't know. Let's see, we'll just use this quarter cup and we'll do it twice. Got the minis. There we go. That should be about a handful, enough to eat later. That's about all that's in that left. There we go. Mix all that down in there. Scrape the sides. Mix that up nice. We're done with that. We're done with the cup. I'm hoping, because I just threw it in the sink. Yeah, there's about enough for a handful of chocolate chips at some point tomorrow to snack on. I don't even think I'll throw those back in the freezer. But what we're going to do is, we're going to throw that, we're going to take this, and we're going to throw it into the freezer and chill that for about 10 minutes or so while we fix that cast iron before we use it. There we go. But I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Safe Thanksgiving. I haven't heard of any major catastrophes in the world. But during the holidays, I like to turn the news and everything else off. And not listen to anything other than what's going on in my house and what's going on at my table. During the holidays, that's all that should matter. There we go. There we go. That's about all we should need those. Carmen, how are you? Good to see you this morning. So we're going to take a little bit of plastic wrap. We're going to throw on top of there. And I'm going to throw that into the freezer to chill for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. Long enough for me to fix this piece of cast iron that we're going to use. There we go. Yeah. And yes, we are getting close to 1,000, so if you like what you see, please subscribe. I'm so close to 1,000. Probably less than 20 subscribers from 1,000. So if you're out there, if you could hit the like button and the subscribe button, that would be fantastic. I don't go on and on about it, but at least we have something to look at instead of me just looking into the camera and going, please like and subscribe, and that's all I do. So we're going to set that in there, into the refrigerator. I'll throw it in the freezer, why not? I got more room right now in my freezer than I do in my more room in the freezer than I do my refrigerator right now. Move some of this stuff out of the way. We'll grab a couple of rivets to set that piece of cast iron on, and then we'll go from there. But I will start my tea while I'm thinking about it. Check comment section. See if anybody's out there. Carmen, where are you coming in from tonight? Or this morning, or whatever you want to do it. Whatever, however you want to say. I wish I had my drip pans under my tea kettle so I could use my tea kettle. Because that's going to be hot, but it's not going to be that hot. There we go. Let that sit, move this out of the way. We don't need that anymore. There we go. And we'll set down a couple trivets. I am going to have to move you guys back just a little bit. So I've got a little room to work. There we go. And we'll get out. Dump my tea a little bit. The water didn't get very hot through the coffee maker. But it's just Lipton. We'll give it a minute to go. Through the coffee maker as well. That's what I should have done to begin with. I thought it would get hot enough just on the burner, but I think I'm sadly mistaken. There, that'll heat it up. That'll heat it up very good. Okay, so anyway, I can use some sleepy time tea right now. Yeah, that's, Mercy B, that's decaffeinated. Because I know at some point I'm going to get a couple hours of sleep before I got to get up. Let me get this griddle out of there. It's been heated up at 350, and I'll set that. Actually, I need one more thing before I do that. Let's move this out of the way, and I'm going to set a towel down so that I don't scorch. Take the chance of scorching my my countertop with that griddle, because that griddle is just a little bit longer than just a second. So we'll set that down there. Move our butter dish over to there. There we go. Oven mitts. I think that should be, these sit about the same height. There we go. There you go. And we'll break out the griddle. Basically the star of the show between the dog is the cast iron griddle. So I'm going to throw a little seasoning. I'll show you guys where that spot was and what I'm going to do with it. But if you can see right there where my claw is at, it has a little bit of that scratched off spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the cast iron cure that I have, this stuff right here, cast iron cure, available on eBay. And I'm going to get a brush, and I'm going to brush some of that on there. We're just going to brush that around on that spot. You can see how it's getting that to smoke and all that in that one spot. And we'll just do the whole thing while we've got it up there. All down in the crevices. And those little spots around the edges. Like I'm doing a painting video instead of chocolate chips. And you can see that it's kind of smoking up. That's been in there for a little bit. But we're going to let that kind of season on the bottom through there. And I absolutely, if you guys have ever watched the channel, I know there's some few people out there. If you ever watched this channel before, you know that I absolutely despise griddle sides because they are so hard to work with. But this will season it up and it'll condition that and it'll let it get some work while it's on that side and cover up that rust spot. Oh, I like it when cast iron shine. Yeah, me too. Kathy Doherty, how are you? Where are you coming in from this morning or late night? seasoning back up here. There we go. Just a little bit more onto that brush. Then I'll wipe that off. Now if you're going to season something, you want to make sure that you don't just put the whatever you're seasoning with on there. You want to make sure that you wipe it off, because you don't want it to be that shiny, because if you do, it's going to pool up. I always use these cotton cloths, these dusting cloths, not the lint. They're lint free, but they're not the lint free that everybody thinks of when they think of lint free. Get down in between all those. There we go. Point each one. Make sure that you wipe that off. You do not want to, because it'll puddle up. It'll make sticky spots if you don't take it off of your iron. Go on the sides, on that edge over there. Get down in these spots. This is why I don't like using griddle pans, because you got to get down into all these little spots, and to re-season them or restore them if you find them. If you use them like that, if you don't have a grill, which I have a couple grills, so I don't, more than a couple. I don't really need a griddle pan. I like the grated side, but I absolutely love the flat side. That's why I have as many countless amounts of griddles that I do, because those are super handy. But the grated sides are a pain. Okay, so that's all we got to do with that, I think. Pretty sure. There we go. Cloth baby diapers were good. Yes, they do. They do. Which this is basically what this essentially is. It's just a, it's basically a cotton tea towel. I use, you know, t-shirts, old t-shirts with no printing on them. Those are cotton. Because poly, if you use something that has poly anything, if it says poly anything in it, it's going to, it'll melt to this. And then you are in some real trouble. When you've melted something to that, you're going to just throw it in a lye tank and you're going to start all over again. Because you can't scrape that stuff off, especially like on lot. I always wanted a griddle run. I always wanted a griddle one until I got some. Yeah, I do not like these grated sides, and I never use it. I never use it, which is one of the reasons it had a rust spot in it, because I never used that. I used the other side. The other side looked great. It was ready to rock, but I figured while I was messing with it, I was going to get out one of the vintage ones, but I decided not to. I want to give this one some work, and I've got a couple of these, and I do like the flat side. I like the flat-sided ones like this. I have two of these, and I can put them on my larger grill. I put them side by side, and then I've got a griddle for my grill. And we're not going to do anything to this side. We don't need to do anything here. But what I am going to do is I've got some parchment paper, because I don't feel like cleaning this tonight. Have you tried Samoan food? I have not tried. I don't know if I've tried Samoan food or not. Depends on what would Samoan food consist of? Alma, Defun, thanks so much for showing up tonight. I appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. We're going to throw this little bit of parchment paper on here and see if we actually absolutely need it. Because I don't really feel like cleaning this off. And normally when I do cookies, I don't have much problem with the cookies sticking, but I just wanted to do this as is. Yeah, but yeah, what dish is a pretty common Samoan thing? And we'll take out our chilled cookie dough. Before I do that, I'm going to get a sip of my tea, because so I can add that hotter water into there. Because that coffee didn't do what I thought it was going to do. And my throat was getting dry. There we go. Now we got some hot water in there. Yeah, that just sucks my tea kettle. My tea kettle, I can't use my tea kettle because I don't have my drip pans down. Because my drip pans are out in some easy off. So I can get all the crud off of them from all the cooking I did this week. The whole stove needed a re-up. Okay, so anyway. And this isn't, like I said, this is a small batch of cookies, so we're looking at hopefully about 8 or 9 if I did everything sort of correct, which I think I did, but it's in the middle of the night and I haven't slept any. So I got one of those round cleaning brushes. I'm going to see if it works better. Hopefully I will like it then again. Are you talking about one of these Lodge round brushes? Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope yours was great. Hope you got to spend it with some family. But yeah, this is a Lodge cleaning brush. And if you've got one of those and you don't have one of these, I would highly suggest getting one of these. These are made by Lodge as well. And these are great. They're designed just to they got a little pick edge on them for in the corners. And these bristles are a lot more solid, more like harder than a hard bristle toothbrush. And it's got this corner that gets into all those spots. I absolutely love it. Good. I'm glad you had a good Thanksgiving. Now it's time to get on to Christmas. And that's one of the reasons, even though I didn't have people over for Thanksgiving this year, what I did is I made a ton of stuff like gravy and shredded turkey and turkey breast. And later on today, this afternoon, I will be going live. I'm gonna take one of the turkey breasts, a good portion of it, and I'm gonna make turkey fried rice with some of my leftovers. And that was the other thing. With all the shopping and everything like that, I thought it would just be kind of nice to have all of my food ready. Let's see if we can get that down just a little bit farther onto there. Give those a little space to hang out. I should move those into the middle a little bit more. It's hard to tell where I'm at with that paper down. But yeah, I thought it'd be nice to have leftovers for the weekend. So I could have like some turkey and noodles. And I wanted to try doing the chicken fried rice, but with turkey leftovers, to see how that went. I thought that would be kind of cool. So I'm a fried rice freak. And I think this Sunday, for the Sunday live stream, I had a really good time doing the Kung Pao chicken last Sunday. I think this Sunday, I'm going to attempt to make one of my other favorite takeout foods. I think I'm going to try and make General Tso's chicken, which I've never tried to make that, but it just sounds really good. I think I'm going to give these a little room. I'll just move those over. That's a nice thing about the parchment paper. If you don't like it, you can just move it. Move that over just a smidge. There we go. And we'll pop those in. And we'll let that get in there. Let me get my... Yeah, that cookie dough tastes great. It really is good. And I'm telling you, with if you've never tried substituting your brown sugar with molasses, you really don't know what you're missing. I had a 25-pound turkey. Geez, oh Pete. That is enormous. I'm going to sea salt a couple of these just to say we did it. If I can find my sea salt, because I had that out yesterday. Messing around. We'll do a little bit of sea salt on a couple of these. Not much, just a sprinkle. on the back 4. A little sea salt on there. There we go. That should be good. Wow, how long does a 25-pound turkey take? Because I know I did my 13-pound turkey for almost 3 hours at 350. Usually I spatchcock them, but my kitchen shears were kind of letting me down. And I didn't want to go out and get new kitchen shears because I asked my kids for kitchen shears this year for Christmas. So I didn't want to go get a pair, so I just did the I just did it as I just dealt with it. So we got our tea. Hopefully that's steeped up a little better now. So one thing about doing these live streams that absolutely drives me nuts is working around this camera stand. Yeah, that's a little better. Get a teaspoon to stir that tea. Rich, what's up, honey? Choo choo. How are you? Are you getting ready to head out and get your day started? If so, I hope you have a good one. Let's do honey in the tea. Instead of the sugar, we'll do, I'm using decaffeinated tea, so I might as well do a little honey as well. I think that's been a good steep in there. Yeah, I just decided to do a little, I couldn't sleep at all, Rich, so I decided to make cookies. Throw some jazz on, and hopefully that'll do me. Hopefully that'll do me. But if everybody could hit the like button, that would be really cool. Yes, in a couple hours. What's your weather like there in England? Hopefully it's better than mine. It's nothing but, it's like 30 degrees. It's clear out, but the wind has been about 20 to 25 degrees, or 25 miles an hour since 2 days ago. And I don't think it's going to let up. The gales of November, as the song goes. Get my tea going here. So exciting. Corey, morning. How are you, Corey? Good to see you. Good morning. Or if you're like me, up since yesterday, I could not sleep. So I'm going to decide to hear, by the time the cookies are done and I've had a cookie, I'm going to decide if I want to stay up or if I want to go to sleep for a while. Sunny spells at the moment. Oh, okay. Is the sun out where you are already? So I'm trying to think. It's what time? 4:30 here, so it's what? Oh, it's like 9:30 in the morning where you are. 9:30 a.m. I'd say that tea is probably spot on to be done. Get my honey out. Dash of honey in there. Wish I had some lemon. Lemon would be good in here. That sounds good. Hello from Toronto, Canada. Hello, Toronto, Canada. Too bad about the World Series. You guys were robbed. You guys were robbed. And this comes from a baseball fan who does not like the Dodgers. I really wanted to see the Blue Jays win it this year. I really did. Get my honey stirred down. Yeah, buddy. Yes, we did. Yes, you did. You did. Robbed. You know who else got robbed? The Tigers, man. The Tigers got robbed. I've never seen, and I'm not a huge Detroit Tigers fan. I'm not even an American League guy. But I'm telling you what, man, the Tigers got robbed left and right this year. Love Canada. I used to love Windsor. I used to go to Windsor quite a bit. There we go. Used to go to Windsor quite a bit. And I always say this, I used to have to go through Detroit on 75. We take 75 up through to Detroit to the border. And it was like going from, it was like the Wizard of Oz where you'd go through the gray, like it was all in black and white, and then you get over to Windsor and it would be in color, and it was just beautiful, and everything was like gorgeous. Love the Detroit Tigers. Yeah, I mean, I used to go to, I don't hate on the Tigers. I'm not a huge fan, because I used to go to Mud Hen games all the time. I love Mud Hens games. Their minor league team. Yeah, it's crazy. I always said, yeah, I said, it's just like going through Oz. You go through, I know we would take off when we would go through Detroit at nighttime, because Detroit was like, absolutely, if you go through like anywhere in Detroit in the middle of the night, it's like deserted. There's like, it's like something from a movie where there's like steam coming out of the manholes, and there's like newspapers and stuff flowing across the street. We'd go through there at like 4 in the morning, and there'd be absolutely nothing going on. And then you get to Windsor, and it was like, oh, this is really cool. Yeah, what's the one? I'm trying to think. It's probably the AM station that I used to pick up to listen to games, and I used to just pick up a Windsor station in general. And I know WJR, that's Detroit, and I'm trying to think of what the Windsor station was. I used to listen to all the time. 590. That might be. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, that tea's good. That hits the spot. Man, it could use some lemon. See how much time we got. We got about 5 minutes on the cookies. I'm gonna turn the light on. I'm not gonna open the door because if you're looking, you're not cooking. And this isn't gonna make a ton of cookies, by the way. It's only gonna make, I've got, I estimate, I usually get about 8 to 9 out of these batches. And 743. Is that what? I don't think it's 743, Rick Rebel. Unless you wanted to be 740, maybe just hit the wrong one. But good morning, Rick Rebel. Thank you so much for showing up. Corey, bye. See you later. If everybody, we are so close to 1,000 right now. If you want to come back and check this out, I do a lot of cast iron cooking, cast iron restoration. I clean up the old-timey stuff from the last century and the century before, clean it up, and then we cook in it a lot of times. So if you want to check that out, my normal time for live streaming is 8 p.m. on Thursdays and Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on Sundays, Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to, you got married in Windsor. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, thanks, Bobby Joe. Appreciate it. But yeah, almost to 1,000. So let's see, top of the morning. Heather White, how are you? I hope Wee Jeff's feeling better. Poor guy. We need to get him some of those we need to get him some of those titanium teeth. One of my all-time favorite internet dogs is Heather White's dog, Wee Jeff. And Wee Jeff had to have some dental work done. We need to get, and Wee Jeff is absolutely the cutest dog ever. He's just awesome. And he's got a great singing voice. But yeah, he had to, I noticed he's missing one of his bottom teeth that usually sticks up over the top. We need to get that little guy some titanium teeth. Yeah, he's curled up beside me recovering, but he's in good form. He needs grills. Yeah, he needs that, man. He needs it a lot. Thanks, Bobby Joe. Yeah, I have the, if anything, I have the best audience on YouTube. I really do. Everybody's super cool. They come to see the food. It's not just looking into the camera going, like and subscribe, because that's, if you're not going to do something, you know, and we have a great community. There's other folks in the community that have channels. RB Rail, which is Rich, down below your comment, does rail train watching, which is really, it's so relaxing. When I get up in the mornings and I turn it on, he's on it all the time. And it's so relaxing. It's like the English countryside, and then we watch the trains. It's great. Heather White, who is above you, she is a busker and does live performances from her house, and she is amazing. Rich is in England, in the Preston area, and Heather is in Belfast, Ireland. They have great channels. Go to those. You have a Shih Tzu. Oh, that very cool. Yeah, he is funny, man. I love little Jeff. Wee Jeff. he's awesome. Let me see. We got about a minute until the cookies are done. I don't want to look at them. I really don't. Yeah, that's what. You know, Bobby Joe. I just could not sleep. Because it's right now where I'm at, it is 4:38 a.m. and I don't know what time I got up yesterday, about 10 in the morning, I guess. And I just could not sleep. And so about 2:30, 2 o'clock, I got up and I was texting one of the reasons we didn't do Thanksgiving this year is one of my daughters is in the health industry, and she lives about an hour and a half from where I am, and she worked tonight, so she went in yesterday evening to work, and so it would have just been a nightmare. Hazy Days, what's up, buddy? What's going on? Kinder cheesecake. I'm excited for that. But not the mess. I took the one down. I do a small batch cheesecake that I do in a bread loaf pan. I gotta do that again because I took it down. The recipe was great, but I hurried it up and it cracked real bad. We'll have to do that again. We'll have to do the cheesecake one in a loaf pan, in a cast iron loaf pan. That's so good. And it's super easy. It doesn't make much of a mess. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, we'll have to do that again. You don't eat cream cheese? It's not for everybody. Oh, let's see how our cookies are good. Oh, yeah, I think these are good. There we go. There we are. There we are. We'll take these off and put them on a rack. Columbus Clipper Stadium is usually packed when the Mud Hens are in town. Yeah, man, I really like the Mud Hen Stadium. We went all the time when I lived farther up north. I don't know why I don't go now. I absolutely love it. Love going to those games. Let's get a spatula here. I'd like to know what happened to my other spatula. The one that I really, really like. And it has just been absolutely MIA for about 2 weeks. I mean, I don't know how you lose a spatula, but I don't know. This is coming from the same person that couldn't find his glasses for a half an hour before I came live. See how these do on the parchment. Oh, I'm gonna leave these sit. I'm gonna leave these sit right here for about another 5 minutes. I'm gonna let those kind of hang out. We'll let those hang out. I forgot how soft they were. We'll let them sit there. We'll just all sit and look at some cookies for a little bit. Thank you so much. They're so easy. I love making chocolate chip cookies. I had butterscotch chips too, and I thought about adding those in there, but you know, I didn't. I think it would have been better with the bigger chips though. Minis are cool for some stuff, but I use the mini semi-sweets and they're all right, I guess, but it's not the same when you can't see the big chunks. of cookie in there. But thank you, Heather. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll just kind of hang out. Man, it smells good in here. That's one. That's the other. That was the other thing I was thinking is when I wake up in the if I do decide to go to sleep, when I wake up, it's gonna smell like chocolate chip cookies in here, and like that and bread, or like a nice stew. That's always nice to wake up to. Like bacon. It's always there's just certain smells that just are so nice to wake up to. Peanut butter is my favorite. Peanut butter is I have not made. See, I don't keep a lot of peanut butter in my house, and I will tell you why. Because I eat that stuff. I mean, I just go. I am so guilty of eating peanut butter, and I'm trying to lose about 20 pounds right now. And peanut butter, and the other day I was watching something where, now it's been a while ago, but if you've never, but I want to make homemade peanut butter. My place still smells like bread. I made homemade dinner rolls yesterday. Oh man, I bet. I got my sourdough started again. I restarted my sourdough last night. It's bubbling and getting all good. It's been about 6 hours or so. And then here about noon, I'm gonna double that feeding and feed it again. We're gonna make dinner rolls for Sunday or Saturday. And a loaf, and for when my daughters get here, I'm gonna send them I'm going to make some bread so that they can take some bread home with them. So, man, I know, I love that. But yeah, so I've got some, so that'll be tomorrow that I bake bread. Because I'm almost out of bread because I've been sitting here, man, smashing. I unthawed a loaf of sourdough. It's like half, like I put a little bit of rye flour into it and then I salted the top. So it's like a salted rye sourdough bread. And I pulled that out on Monday night. And I've almost smashed that entire loaf because I've just sat here and ate turkey sandwiches. I have one tomato left from the garden. And so I've just been having turkey, like leftover turkey with the tomatoes, and I've got one left, one teeny tiny little tomato left. That's all I have of my Cherokee purples left. I'm so disappointed. Sourdough is really easy. I'll tell you what. Bobby Joe, I'll run through it real quick. The thing that I learned with it, I'm not an expert. I just started doing it this past summer. But you want to start out with 30 grams of all-purpose flour, unbleached, and 30 grams of water, and let that sit till it starts to bubble. Don't start feeding it like the next day. Wait like a week until you start to see it bubble. And then if you have those 30 grams, so take out 60 grams, that leaves 30 grams left. And then put 30 grams of flour and 30 grams of water and mix it up, and you got sourdough starter. And then, you know, I have like a pint jar in my refrigerator of the discard left. And then I just use that when I want the starter. I break it out of the refrigerator and I'll start out with 30 grams and I'll add 30 grams flour, 30 grams of filtered water. Use filtered water, not tap water. So, and that's all you do. And I used to think that you had to feed it every day and all this stuff. I run it out. I decide what I'm gonna make. And it started acting just like the starter. Yeah. And, but yeah, it just, like I said, and then I don't have, I ended up, when I first started doing sourdough, I had all this sourdough discard, so I was making pancakes, and I was making this, and I was making waffles, and all this discard, and it just got to be, I don't eat a lot of bread. That's why I make my bread. So that's been on there 5 minutes. Let's see how these come off now. Yeah, that's a little better. That's what I want. I want them to come off and be sort of, ooh, that part's hot. It's hard to see where that, but yeah. There we go. But yeah, and I just ended up with all this stuff, but I've gotten figured out, and that's why I call my starter minutia, because there is so much minutia involved when you watch people who do videos about sourdough, they make it so hard. They make it so hard to just make a freaking loaf of bread that it's ridiculous. They really do. And I got it down to where all I do now is I just put a little bit in there. I take it out when I need it. I don't feed it every day. None of that. And then when I want bread a couple days ahead of time, and I know that I'm going to be able to bake, get my bread done, then I break it out. I feed it a couple times. I figure out how much I'm going to use, and if I'm low on discard, I'll just put it back in the discard jar, and that's it. I don't make it harder than it has to be. So that gave us, we'll count the cookies here in a second. I wish the dog could have chocolate. I'd make the dog a little cookie, but dogs can't have chocolate. I know there's certain kinds they can have in little bits, but I'm no dogologist, so I'm not going to tempt fate. See if I can scrape together another cookie, or at least enough to throw onto one. I'll throw it onto that little one. That's what we'll do. We'll just throw that onto there. We'll just add it to this one. And just make one big one. So there we go. The last three. There we go. And there you go. Let's pop those. There's a chip. There we go. Okay. Let's throw those in. And we'll do the same thing. How's the Beaks? The Beaks is sleeping. The Beaks is sleeping. She's been eating good, man. She's had so much. I made her her own dog food out of the turkey. Out of turkey leftovers, like all the collagen and all that stuff, the little knuckle pieces. I ground that up, and I cooked the. If you do this for your dog, if you're gonna do like your dog's own homemade dog food, if you put any kind of grain in it, you got to cook it first, or it'll dehydrate your dog. So I made some quick oats, and I had an egg that I used for my egg wash on my bread the other day, and I added that egg into the oatmeal. And then I mixed it up with all the turkey trimmings that I cut up real fine. And I'm thinking that I put something else in it. I think that was it. That might be it. And so she's been smashing on that. She's been loving it. Absolutely loving it. I'll keep that off to the side, that thing there that we used. My baby's asleep too, yeah. Yeah, she's in there. She was, before you came in, Heather, she was in there dreaming. Because I told people, I said, if you guys hear the dog barking or like yelping, I thought somebody was at the front door. So I went in there and into the living room and looked out the door, and then I looked over there, and usually she's up on the couch. She's a little dog. She's like 20 pounds. And she's usually like up on the couch, like so she can see out the windows. And she didn't... she was just curled up sleeping. She was just dreaming. She was dreaming that she was stalking and attacking, which is really what she does. All she really likes to do is stalk and attack. Which has been kind of nice with the weather cold. When I do take her out, it's not such a sightseeing trip as much as it is just going out. She goes out there, powders her nose, and then she's ready to come back inside and get something. Get a reward. About half a cup of tea. Oh, wee beegs. Yeah, she's something. You guys saw her. If you guys saw her, man, she's hyper. Let's see. Yeah, I wish I could sleep that good. Gosh, I wish I could sleep, period. I can't sleep more than 4 hours at a clip anyway. I'm about half tempted to get real cozy with some Sominex at about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. I've had the same bottle of Sominex for about a year. It's one of those travel ones that you get, like, I went out of town and I was afraid the time change would screw me up, so I bought a bottle of Sominex. And I've taken one. I have like four or five left. It's like had, I don't know, six tablets or whatever in it. But I think if it goes past tonight, man. His name is Simba. He'll be 3 February 1st. My dog will be 2 on St. Patrick's Day this year. That's not when I got her, that's when she was born. I've had her since the 1st of June last year. I have insomnia. It just, at times, sometimes I can go and sleep from like 9 o'clock. My thing is if I go to bed with the time change screws me up. So what I do is, normally I go to bed at 7 o'clock, but then I wake up at like 1:30 or 2. And then I'm just up. And I do that until I get acclimated to the time change, till the time change and the darker weather. And I'll do that for about a month, and then I'll be back to like going to bed at about 10 or between 10 and 11:30 and getting up about 6:30. He's a pensioner now. He is. That's why that's why he's ready for some new teeth. I mean, what? He's about 100 years old in dog years. He's due, man. We got to get that dog. We got to do a crowd fund and get that little guy get him one of those. They do that anymore. They'll put little titanium teeth in there so they don't lose their, because that's one thing, man, about when we got our dog. My daughter was like, oh man, one of these days she's going to have the weird teeth. And I'm like, yeah, but we're going to make sure she has. We can make sure she has the good ones. We'll do a crowdfund for his teeth, for his chompers, for his wee chompers. But he is the funniest little guy. What does he weigh, like? Maybe 10 pounds? Yeah, you got to check out Heather's channel. She does, and she puts together really, really good like shorts with him in it, like short videos with wee Jeff in it. And I always tease her that because they're in Ireland and I'm here in the States, and I always tease that I'm the president of the International Wee Jeff fan club, because I think that dog's he's awesome. Give him some grills and he started listening to Snoop Dogg. We'll have to get him a street name too. Like the Beagle has so many names that we don't remember what her real name is, but the Beagle's street name is Little Chili. Little Chili. So we'll have to figure him out a name, because he is for being a little guy, he's pretty gangster. My half cup of tea, a little bit of honey in there. This honey was so sweet that it crystallized on me. You can see that it's like, I've been heating it on the stove, so it's like coming back to life. But man, and both jars that I got when I went this summer to get beeswax, the honey I picked up, I didn't pick up the honey from the place that I got my beeswax. I picked it up from a place on the side, like we have bee stands around here, because I live in Amish country. So we have what's literally called bee stands, and they're just like open air. They're like sheds, and for people like Amish people and stuff, they put their different bee stuff in them, and you just go in and you just leave, like, you put money in the box. And when I was getting wax, I forgot to get honey, so I stopped at one of the bee places, Because here everybody's really proud of their honey because we're in it's Amish, so it's like spray free. They don't use pesticides of any kind, and that's what I make my cast iron cure out of and my beard products out of the beeswax that I get from the Amish country. 9.9, the big ounce. That should be his street name. We should call him the Big Ounce. That'd be perfect for him. But yeah. But everybody here is proud of the bee products that they have because it's in spray-free zone, so we have a really good bee population. And so there's bee like bee sheds everywhere. Yeah, Bobby, the honor system. Which, you know, the only bad part about it is you got to have exact. I always go there with a lot of ones, so I make sure I have the exact amount. Tea's good. That is good. The cookies have just a little over 2 minutes left, and then we'll be down to the last part, and then I'll rub a little bit more of the cast iron cure on we'll check out how the one part did. It's not going to season completely because it's only been in there 20 minutes. But when you use cast iron cure as a conditioner, you don't need to season it. You don't need to take it up. Yeah, the Big Ounce, man. That's I'm telling you. Heather, you need to let me handle Wee Jeff's merch. I'm telling you, we'd make a fortune. We have all the people in vans sit outside of the road and sell potatoes here in the summer. And they sell strawberries. Ooh. You know, I just picked, our weather has been so warm here, not unseasonably warm, but we went through a cold spell really early, and then it warmed up, kind of about where it was supposed to be. And I just picked a strawberry off my strawberries. And I don't have a huge ton of strawberry plants. I have two or three maybe. It's hard to tell because they're all bunched together. But I just picked a fresh strawberry off the other day, and they're so good. I love fresh strawberries. Fresh potatoes, straight from Belfast. But yeah, I'm telling you, Heather, you gotta let me handle Wee Jeff's merch. We'd make a fortune. The Big Ounce, we have Big Ounce t-shirts, Big Ounce dog t-shirts with Wee Jeff on it. And his little costume, his little Christmas costume is the greatest. Craftsmanship and cooking. See here, we have two different, Bobby Joe, we have two different kinds of Amish. We have what we call, like the regular Amish folks, and then we have what's called the dirty Amish. And I'm telling you what, these people, it's so bad. They use, and the reason we say that, it's not to be mean, it's because they use, like they'll peddle their Amish stuff. They have little other little sheds where they'll stand out and they'll do it, and they'll get tourists as they come through. But they all use fuel oil. That sect, whatever that sect of Amish is that lives there's several sects of Amish, but there's one particular, and for whatever reason they all use fuel oil to cook with. I don't know how they stand it, but it is the worst stuff you've ever had in your life. The bread, it tastes like somebody used a gasoline torch to make the bread. It's horrifyingly bad. All their anything they and normally I dig on the Amish folks. I go to a lot of Amish stuff around here. I do a lot of dealings with the Amish people because they're so close. And there's even an Amish store that's about 30 minutes from me that I buy a lot of stuff from. And those folks are great, but I don't know about what that deal is with that one. Could you imagine using a fuel oil to cook your food in? I don't know how they stand it. And then you can tell them, you go into, say, the grocery store and they're in there, or at the my chiropractor's office. They love the chiropractor, so they're always in my chiropractor's office. And you can tell which ones are that sect because if you sit near them, they smell like gasoline. I don't know how they live that way. So we have to be careful of that around here. Anytime I bake, it tastes like charcoal. Yeah, it's weird. It's the strangest thing, and I don't know why. I just don't know how they do it. I mean, we have, a lot of like the Amish here, they use propane or wood, and I mean, even coal stoves for heating this. I mean, it has a scent, but geez, Pete. We'll let those sit for 5 minutes before we take them off because those are soft. I'm gonna take my heat down to 225 because when I'll throw the cast iron cure on there when I'm done to preserve this, and then timer, set that for 5 minutes. We seem to do okay with taking these off for 5 minutes. Look good, man. These look really nice. And this isn't like, I know there's on the interwebs you can find better chocolate chip cookie recipes and people that take it a lot more serious. I just made a small batch of cookies and broke out the cast iron to do it. Yeah, see, we have other ones that aren't like that either. What kind of cookies did I make? Chocolate chip. Maybe you can get I kind of had you guys back. I'm sorry, I didn't readjust the camera back from where I was messing with the cast iron. I was putting a little seasoning on the bottom of the cast iron, so I had to move it back. But yeah, I just used mini chips. I had them sitting in the freezer. Yeah, we have lots of Amish here, and most of them don't. But there's that one sect that's what they do, and they're all around this one little town, and which is like 15 minutes from me. And it's all like that. And everybody, I moved here about 10 years ago, and everybody was like, don't get stuff from them because it's a tourist trap for those folks. Because none of their food's any good. But then we have like an Amish store that's like 30 minutes from me, and everything they have is amazing. Like I get like a lot of times I get my ham from there. Like if I get deli ham, because it's like actually like cured ham, like out in the smokehouse. That's their ham. Yeah, you can't trust, man. You can't trust it. You just can't trust that at all, Bobby Joe. You cannot trust it at all. But yeah, so yeah, we're making chocolate chip cookies. These are the last 3. We're gonna give these. I got about 3 minutes left. And then I'm letting the other ones still kind of cool off some. But they're looking pretty good. The bottoms came out great. That's one of the reason I like using cast iron for everything I cook with almost, except boiling pasta. You can see the bottoms look really nice. They came out, they were pretty thin. They're gonna be nice and chewy still with a nice crisp edge, nice crisp bottom. They're not burnt on the bottom. They've got a good brown. I like that. And really, I mean, I've been complaining about, I always complain about my stuff when I make it because I always think everything I do I'm like my own worst critic. But there's just tons of chocolate chips in there. Tons. It sounds like Liberty, Kentucky. I am north of Kentucky. I don't know what Liberty, Kentucky, that's pretty specific. That's specific. But I'm north of that. I'm north of Kentucky. Not much, but I'm north of there. But sounds like Liberty, Kentucky. That's crazy. Not crazy in a bad way. It's just that's really specific. But yeah, I think they came out pretty darn good. They smell great, man. It smells really good in here. I have about 2 or 3 sips of tea left. So when I take these off, we'll break those. I'll put a little bit of cast iron cure on this, and I'll put that in there. I'll show you guys how to do that. It's one thing, I was thinking about that the other day, and I was talking with one of my mods. I've been selling this cast iron cure for like 6 years, and I've never done a how to use it. I've got a couple short videos of like where you can get it, because I get like emails and stuff of people asking to where to get it. But I've never done one of how to use it, and I need to do that. That looks yummy. Yeah, they look great. Dip them in a glass of milk. I have to wait until, Bobby Joe, I am completely out of milk until 2 p.m. this afternoon, and then the dairy opens up. That's what I love about where I live. I don't buy my milk from the store. There's a dairy right outside of town where they grass feed and they bottle their own milk in glass containers. And at 2 o'clock they were closed yesterday because yesterday was Thursday, but you can only pick up milk on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 2 to 6. You can get raw milk, you can get some flavored milk. They even flavor their own milk. And then, but it's open at 2 o'clock, so I can't get any milk. I'm out. So I can't get any milk till 2 o'clock today, which is the next time I will be out. Which is why I said if I go live today and do the turkey fried rice, then I'm gonna do that I'm gonna have to work it around when I go get milk, because and we have bottle deposits. Take that off. So let me see. We'll check these out here in a second. I'm gonna get I'm doing a little late night infomercial for my product. Billy, what was his name? Billy something? Billy Mays. I'm doing the Billy Mays tonight. So yeah, that came out nice. No sticking, no mess. I don't have to do anything with it. Get rid of my parchment paper. And then I've already got the bottom cured. I've already put cast iron cure on the bottom. Wipe off any crumbs, which there aren't really any to speak of. And then what I'll do is I'll take cast iron cure, my prop can of cast iron cure. Take that, and what I do with it is just take a little bit, put it onto your lint-free rag, knock everything off that you can possibly knock off, and you just take, almost like shoe polish, you just put a little bit on your rag. We're going to wipe that on there. Get it down. I always get down into the logo part a little bit better. And what I mean by the logo part is that piece right there. So it gets down into there. Wipe that all over. Take it around the edges, down onto the handles. So this is for the folks that says it's hard to clean and maintain cast iron. So I've got it on there. Flip over my rag. And the dry side over top of it, because we don't want it to pool up. We don't want sticky spots. That's how you make sticky cast iron, is by putting too much oil or anything on it. And then it's conditioned. It's ready to go for the next time you use it. Now I've got my oven. I'll pop you guys over here so you can see this. But my oven is at 225 degrees. That's all you need, because you're not seasoning. You're just conditioning. We're just getting it heated up, ready to go back onto the shelf. We're gonna throw 225 for 20 minutes. And then once it's done, once it goes that 20 minutes, we don't take it out, we don't wipe any more off, we don't have to do anything. All we do is turn it off and let it sit. And it'll be ready to go the next time you use it. And it'll be ready to, as you heat it, it'll get seasoning on it and help to build your seasoning up. And we'll take, I only want to take a look at that one spot. See how that's kind of went away down there at that bottom where we had the rust spot from not using this for a year or two. And that was taken off, and that's starting to darken up just a little bit. I'm gonna throw that in there and let it sit at 225 for 20 minutes. And then we'll turn that off. And we'll just let it sit till it cools, and then it's ready to go. Set my timer, and then we're going to look at our cookies. We're going to have a cookie. There we go. You're welcome, Bob Joe. That's one of the things we do. That's one of the things I do here. Teach people the cast iron is not hard to use. It's just how you use it. It's just techniques. That's all it is. So there we go. Our cookies are there. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cookies. Yeah, about what I said. You want to make them a little thicker, you can make them thicker. But I am going to give one a try. There we go. I'll take one of the ones we salted with a sea salt. Yeah, Bobby Joe, just go to eBay and type in cast iron cure. And it's right there. It ships for free. The more you pick up, the cheaper it is. You get a discount the more you buy. And there's a single can that you can get. And there's the 2-can bundle that you can get, which is actually even cheaper, less expensive, and it also ships for free. And they usually get there within, if you're in the United States, it ships out I ship it out the next day. Usually get it in 2 to 3 days. Those are good. That's really good. And using that molasses instead of the brown sugar, it just totally is a different texture or a different flavor. It's a little more smoky of a flavor, if that's the right way to describe it. It's got more of a complex flavor if you use the molasses with the sugar instead of just using straight brown sugar, and then it's not as sweet, which is nice. You don't get like the, man, that's so sweet it hurts your teeth, like normal cookies. Oh, I don't do Canada. Sorry. Well, maybe you do. You can try it. Because I think I should be set up on an international to where eBay picks up the rest of the cost for me. But yeah, give it a try and see if you can get it there. Because I think I am set up international. Man, that's really good. I'm probably going to have 2. And I would have much rather had milk than this tea, to be honest. Thankfully, I did have the tea, though. Oh, your cousins are in New York? Okay. I ship it to anybody. I'm going to try one more. I'm going to try one that's not salted. Try this first. I'll take the very first one that came out. And you can see it's wavy. It was the one I first, I remember to let him sit on the grill for 5 minutes. So it's got a little wavy look where it sat on the rack. Oh man, these are so good. So good. Man, that's good. That is really, I don't want to use this to wipe my hands with. That's my dedicated rag for putting seasoning on the cast iron. Man, these are delicious. And if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. Once I swear I cross my heart that I won't do the subscribe and like thing. But if you like what you see, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. So close to 1,000. I'd really appreciate it. You do good content like this all the time. I have an email on my bio, and you can send me recipes, and if I can do them in 90 minutes, and I can do them in cast iron, I do viewer recipes, which I love to do, because I get like family recipes that I can add to my own family recipe box over there on the counter. And it's always fun to try. We do a lot of stuff that, I do a lot of stuff that's like, trying new things. I let people know the ups and downs, the pros and cons of doing it. As I do it everything in real time. I don't do a lot of videos. Most everything's live streams. You can always rewatch short videos. Mostly those are of the dog. Or result videos, like reveal videos of what we made. Put those up. It's not it's not just a bunch of me standing there saying a bunch of nonsense. I'm glad you came by too, Bobby Joe. I really appreciate it. A great conversation, great back and forth. And I appreciate everything that you, all your input on tonight or this morning, however you want to look at it, little stream that we did. Sundays are great. I love doing the Sunday ones. I like doing the Thursday night, but Sundays just, I really love it because it's either breakfast or lunch or dinner stuff. You know, generally when I do stuff at nighttime, it's always dinner stuff, but Sunday mornings, it's a little of everything. Last week we did Kung Pao chicken. The week before we did breakfast. It's just a gambit. It's like whatever I come across that I feel like making. Good stuff. But anyway, we've been on here about 90 minutes. Which is usually about how long I do this. And that just happened that it came out that way. Bobby Joe, thank you so much for being here. Rich, thank you so much for being here. Mercy B, thank you so much for being in. Let's see, Heather White, thank you so much. I hope Jeff feels better here pretty soon. Go check out their channels, guys. I think I said Mercy B already, and everybody else that showed up in the comments section and out there on the interwebs. I really appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with me this early morning, late night, early morning, and making some cookies. So I hope you guys had fun. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, and I will see you later in the comment section. All right, see you.